According to the Mayo Clinic, they're just kind of reaffirming some shit that's been around in the ether for a while. Johnson & Johnson's COVID vaccine recipients see higher risk of blood clots. Wow, cool. Thanks for, I don't know, being how many months late on this one? A study published Monday said that those who received Johnson & Johnson's single shot, it should be double shot, I don't know what the people are doing, COVID-19 vaccine were more likely to experience a certain type of blood clotting issue than among individuals in the general population. Oh no, it's so rare though, you should still get like 9 of them if you want. Before the start of the pandemic, although researchers said that blood clots are, there it is, okay, cool. Dude, I've never heard this many disclaimer for just anything in my fucking life, okay? It's become more played out than call your doctor if your dick's stiff for 6 hours or longer. Researchers with the Mayo Clinic who published their findings in the JAMA Internal Medicine Journal obtained data on blood clotting from Olmsted County, Minnesota between 2001 and 15. They then compared rates of blood clotting with those who received the Johnson & Johnson shot. Let's see how rare this actually is. Individuals who got the vaccine were 3.5 times more likely, still rare though, to develop cerebral venous sinus thrombosis. Wow. Blood clots in the old ticker, or the old braineroo, sorry. I swear I haven't gotten the jab yet. Then among the general population between 01 and 15. The world's a different place. Don't you know climate change and whatever. The researchers said that the study adjusted for sex and age to make a comparison. 3.5, still rare though, still rare. CVST occurs when the blood clot occurs in the brain's venous sinuses, which prevents blood from exiting the brain. Pretty important process that happens, but it could be interrupted by the Johnson & Johnson jab, according to Johns Hopkins University. Oh, okay. The cells then may break and leak blood into the brain's tissue. They found that the pre-pandemic Olmsted County group saw 2.46 cases of CVST per 100,000 people. The second group, who got to the vaccine, saw 8.65 cases of the condition per 100,000 people, according to the research. Cool. In this population-based cohort study, we found that the CVST incident rate 15 days after the J&J jab was significantly higher than the pre-pandemic rate. Still rare, still safe, still effective. Mayo Clinic researchers used data acquired by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention Adverse Event Reporting System, VAERS, between February 28th, 2021 and May 7th of the same year. The highest at-risk period for CVST within 15 days of receiving the jab, they noted, adding the highest risk was among women aged 30 to 49 years old. I don't know why the jab hasn't been taken off the market, because that is just the perfect age group to be targeting, especially if we're supposed to be believing all women, especially when it comes to the importance of their medical health and then their ability to choose and my body, my choice, right? Unless it's about getting blood clots, then they're all about just waiting that one out. Interesting. Johnson & Johnson didn't immediately respond for for comment. Yeah, because what are you, a journalist? We got contracts from the government to fill. We got some more sketchy vaccine stories. It's very interesting, this type of stuff, right? FDA delays decision on Moderna vaccine for children aged 12 and up, according to the company. Interesting. Very interesting, because you guys already approved the Pfizer gimmick for 5 to 11-year-olds, but children aged 12 and up, you're still dilly-dallying on the Moderna one. It's almost like you see what's going on in those 5 Scandinavian countries: Sweden, Finland, Iceland, Norway, Denmark. Might be adding a couple, and might be removing a few. I'm not entirely sure, but there's 5 countries up there that are like, nah, we're good for people 30 years and younger. No, the FDA is just delaying the decision. Don't worry too much about it. Don't read into it. Safe and effective. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration delayed a decision on whether to approve Moderna's China virus vaccine for children aged 12 and older, according to the pharmaceutical giant on Sunday. I don't know why we had the exact same papers that we used to push it through the first time to get the emergency use authorization. They didn't want to fucking go with it. I don't know what the hell. Do we need to just put another 0 at the end of the check? The health regulator is investigating the risk of myocarditis. Oh no, a form of heart inflammation, for children aged 12 to 17. Moderna's statement said the review may not be completed before January of next year, the company said. Fuck, we'll just have to settle for targeting the 18 to 30-year-olds. The company is fully committed to working closely with the FDA to support their review and is grateful for the FDA and their diligence. Whatever. Safety of vaccine recipients is of paramount importance to Moderna. Sure. Isn't it just funny when you just see something written down and you just know it's a lie? Moderna added it would delay filing a request for an emergency use authorization for a smaller dose of its mRNA vaccine among children 6 to 11. Late last week, the FDA granted emergency use authorization to the pharmaceutical giant's Pfizer vaccine for children. The age group, although the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention has yet to sign off on it. Okay, this story was printed yesterday, but who knows, it could have changed at this point. But we have a little bit more information on this. Delay on Moderna shot for children 5 to 11, not expected. They were only researching from 6 to 11, but whatever. Expected to affect vaccination rollout, according to the White House. Yes, Commissar Walensky there telling us that don't worry about it. We've bought plenty of Pfizer jabs, and all of your kids will be getting it whether they want to or not. Drug regulators delaying a decision on whether or not to authorize Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine for children won't affect the rollout of the jabs for children as young as 5, Biden's administration said to officials on Monday. Yeah, of course, they'd know about young kids about 5 years old, and they'd have an intimate knowledge of their medical history and what you can get away with putting in a 5-year-old system. Too spicy? Don't care. The Biden administration has secured enough of Pfizer's vaccine to vaccinate every child between 5 and 11. Yeah, that's why they don't give a fuck about Moderna right now. Yeah, we already bought all the vaccines anyways, and we don't need them to go to waste. So, Jeffrey Zients, the White House COVID-19 response coordinator, told the reporters in the briefing, "We're in great shape to supply. The whole plan is based on Pfizer vaccines. We have more than enough vaccine for every child, 5 to 11. How many booster shots have you afforded? Or do you still don't know how many you can get away with? Oh, I'm sorry, are necessary. My mistake. There are approximately 28 million children of this age group in America, and every Democrat's desk sounded like that as soon as that number was released. Moderna hope to get authorization soon. Yeah, but they're just, going to go ahead and wait it out because, hey, they've already had their contracts fulfilled, so who really gives a fuck, right? But ain't this a bitch? Okay, because I've seen this story, and it's very interesting. This is the Mayo Clinic, not exactly, like a Dr. Nick's corner fucking clinic, but it's a pretty reputable institution, right? I know I'm just kind of pretending to sell it a little bit, but yeah, everybody knows the Mayo Clinic. It's just about the most famous conglomerate of hospitals and institutions in the United States. They know a thing or two about a thing or two. Recordings reveal lockstep COVID-19 protocols, patient isolation by hospitals. Wow, imagine that, a one-size-fits-all policy for everybody without taking into account individuals' response and different reactions to the virus? Who would have possibly thought that? Wow. Attorneys, medical doctors, and family members of COVID-19 victims have described and offered recordings of what the Truth and Health Foundation calls horrific hospital violations of human rights, including denial of intravenous fluids to patients, denial of access to patients by families, attorneys, and others, and the imposition of remdesivir on patients despite risk of kidney and liver damage from the drug, and the availability of possibly safer alternatives such as ivermectin. No, who could have possibly seen that one coming? Prisoners in America's jails do have more rights than COVID patients in American hospitals. It's unheard of. Dr. Elizabeth Vliet, President and Chief Executive of the Foundation, said at an October 27th press conference that she moderated. According to the website, the mission of the physician-founded charity foundation is to provide truthful, balanced, medically sound, research-based information and cutting-edge updates on prevention and treatment of common medical conditions, including COVID-19 and other infectious diseases that affects health, quality of life, and longevity. Hot. I'm doing my job. It's never been a defense to criminal to crimes against humanity, said Allie Schultz, legal director for America's Frontline Doctors, whose mother-in-law died of COVID-19 and whose father-in-law allegedly suffered severe harm as a COVID-19 patient at the Mayo Clinic in Arizona. Schultz said despite her medical power of attorney, she prevented from alerting basic information about the status of her father-in-law, Chuck, while he was in hospital. Tried everything, Schultz said. I wrote every letter possible, I sent every email possible to advocate for them. I was literally carried out in handcuffs under color of law. I was assaulted under the color of law. I was deprived access to their health records. I was deprived access to them. And I was lied to, but absolutely nothing compared to what happened to Chuck. That all sounds really fucking awful. Schultz said that the Mayo Clinic kept Chuck from any hydration or nourishment over 6 days. That's fucked up. Except one bag of dextrose 5% water. What the fuck? I'll try to read through a bunch of this stuff because I don't know, I find it interesting, horrifying, but interesting at the same time, because these are supposed to be the heroes and the people who are right at the forefront of society and some of the most important people. At least that's what we've been told over the past 20 months, but they're just acting like the tyrants that lord over them. Very interesting. Shit really does roll downhill. She also stated that the clinic secretly experimented on Chuck with the repurposed rheumatoid arthritis drug, baricitinib. I don't know drugs, okay? I'm such a square. They also scheduled him for over 3 weeks more than the Arizona Department of Public Health or the Center for Disease Control recommended. Schultz played a recording of someone who identified himself as a hospital administrator. The recording and others by Schultz were legal, as Arizona has a one-party consent state for recordings. The administrator states that the choice to deprive Chuck of food and water was a standard of care in metropolitan Phoenix due to concerns about the aspirations of objects into his lungs. Cool, so just keep him away from water and food and any sort of human contact because he might breathe something in. There's no dumber of a comparable to make, okay? I can't even analogize that. That's just so fucking stupid. Listen, we're gonna have to stick you in a closet because you might survive? Like, what? Yes, of course, we don't want him to aspirate, but maybe he could just get some IV hydration, something at all, or, I don't know, just an assessment, Schultz asked in the recording. In another recording, an unidentified hospital employee states, as far as visitations of our hospital, we are not going to allow you to visit him in our hospital as long as he is here. Why? Did he fucking choke out and kill an orderly or something? Like, is this dude, like, under punishment of law? Like, what are we doing? Pre-recorded interview with Vliet. Another speaker identified only as Marianne spoke about her Marine Corps veteran father's deterioration and death at a Bozeman, Montana hospital. She said she was prevented from being with her father and holding his hand as he died, allowed only to view him from behind glass as he convulsed in his bed, a mask concealing his face. Really no jokes to be made there. That just fucking sucks. There's something about when you're able to be with a loved one and talk to them and hold their hands. That's something extremely powerful in that, and there's a reason they don't want us to be in the hospital, Marianne said. They want us to be apart from each other. Yeah, just a dehumanized society. That's glad she's caught on to that. Thomas Renz, legal counsel for the foundation, shared what he called the most shocking statistic I have seen probably since this all has started. In Texas, 84.8% of people who were mechanically ventilated for 9 I don't know where that number came from. 96 consecutive hours died. 85% of people who were ventilated for 96 hours consecutively died. Yeah, I thought we knew that a long time ago, that ventilators were not really good, and they were kind of causing people to fucking drop dead. And that's still what a lot of fucking dumb motherfuckers, purposefully ignorant people out there. I hope you don't end up in the hospital because you don't want to wear a mask or you don't want to get a job. Hopefully you don't end up on a ventilator in the hospital because there won't be enough beds for you and you'll have to sit. And it's like, you don't even fucking know what it is at this point, do you? You have the right to refuse treatment. You have the right to request treatment. You have the right to Have an advocate when you are in the hospital. When those rights are denied, your civil rights, human rights, and constitutional rights are being overridden, and you will need an advocate. She added, oh, that is not Van Vliet, just Vliet again, sorry. The Mayo Clinic didn't respond to a request for comment by Schultz allegations. CMS, I didn't respond for a request either. That is fucking horrific. That is what's happening probably not just in the United States, but anywhere else that is equally as fucking tyrannical. I've been unfortunate enough to be in a hospital recently, within the past 6 months, I do believe. And even in comparison to when the last time I was there, it's a completely different world now. I can imagine something like this is probably happening. It's happening up here in buttfuck Grand Prairie. Bet your ass it's happening in other places as well. This is going to be some of those horror stories that just come out after, hopefully, we're all done with this stuff years afterwards. What else is happening right now? I know we're finally just moving back into long form content, and I fucking love it because I like to ramble. I like to cover a whole bunch of topics in one singular video. And if you don't like it, well, there's a good chance that you've already clicked off. But now we're going to talk about specific things that are happening to specific people. 9,000 New York City workers, including firefighters and officers, on unpaid leave over mandate, according to Bill the Commie fucking de Blasio's office. About 9,000 New York City workers, including firefighters, police officers, were placed on unpaid leave Monday for not complying with Mayor Bill de Blasio's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. 9,000 people were placed on leave without pay today. Mitch Schwartz, a spokesperson for de Blasio's office, told media outlets on Monday. The rest are in various stages of having their accommodation requests reviewed, but they can work. Okay, cool. So at least it's one of those appeals things where, yeah, if you'd like to get a medical or religious exemption, which, you know what, hey, if you don't accept Bill de Blasio into your heart as your one pure and true savior, you might not be getting that religious exemption there. So accept Bill or accept the state. Hello, Bill. Data released by the mayor's office on Sunday night said that about 22,800 municipal workers were not vaccinated. Around the same time, de Blasio wrote on Twitter that more than half of the workers who haven't been vaccinated yet have submitted exemption requests, and those requests are being processed. He said through gritted teeth, or I don't know. Probably had a lot of spare time on his hands after his wife's boyfriend came over for the evening. He had to, tend the door and hand out candy. A day earlier, the Democrat mayor confirmed that 91% of workers got the vaccine as of Saturday night, a jump of about 8% from the previous day. Interesting. And you still have 22,800 people not jabbed? It's almost like somebody doesn't know math. Starting Monday, city workers who have not gotten at least one dose of the jab would be placed on leave, triggering concerns about a shortage of firefighters, EMS workers, and police officers. Do you really think that he cares about that? Because that dude just wants to see the city burn on his way out. He's a fucking evil man. But okay, it sucks, and we talk about New York City a lot, but this one right here, this is one, you know what? There's no better way to put this than I've been looking forward to this one, because this is the one that's actually going to fucking affect some change. This is the truckers finally making a statement, okay? This is not speculation that, you know what, hey, maybe all of this stuff could end once the truckers decide that the fucking wheels aren't going to be moving anymore. This is them saying, now is the time, okay? Companies may consider scrapping contracts with the federal government over vaccine mandate, American Truckers Association. This is the big one. This is the big one, because if things don't move for the government, then that's when people start to get antsy, okay? Oh, you can just lower your expectations when you go to the store. You don't need to buy so much. Oh, people are so pampered, and whatever other fucking cope morons out there try to drum up in order to say, oh, we're so pampered, you should just put on the mask and get all of the jabs. You fucking mongoloids. Look around. Your freedoms are getting raped away from you, one at a fucking time. And if you don't stand up for yourself, you're not going to have anything left. That little patch of sand that you think that, oh, as long as I have this, that'll be fine. You're just going to realize that fucking rising tide, if I can just go ahead and appeal to you at a climate change level, that the government is just getting bigger and stronger and more micromanagey. I don't think that's a word, but you know where I'm going. Is just starting to rise more and more and more, and you have less and less and less. And unless you're just really excited about living in the gray jumpsuit, living in the pod, eating the fucking bugs, going and working directly for the government, yeah, it's not that socialist utopia that you think it's going to be where you can just sit on your fat and expanding ass hour after hour, day after day, just sitting back and playing video games. No, you'll be in the salt mines. You'll be in the fucking fields with a scythe, okay? Because that's socialism, that's communism. You don't want that because you wouldn't survive that. But that's what you're fucking simping for, you morons. So let's at least get a little bit of this, okay? Because I was talking about it. This is the big one, so you just don't need to be terribly loquacious on the subject. Let's get to the actual substance of it. A number of trucking companies may consider whether or not to end their contract with the federal government following Joe Biden's vaccine mandate for federal contractors, according to the Executive Vice President of Advocacy of the American Truckers Association, the ATA, my guys. In September, President Joe Biden announced sweeping vaccination measures, that he still can't really point out or figure out. Contractors have until December 8th to get their employees vaccinated and can't allow them or their employees to opt out. But you know who can opt out? Members of Congress, their aides, people who work in the White House. But the rest of the plebs out there, you have to get it, no questions asked. But Bill Sullivan of the ATA told Politico that some companies may consider scrapping their federal contracts altogether if they cannot meet the December 8th deadline for workers to be vaccinated, which he said may lead to devastating consequences on their labor force and potentially impact consumers during peak holiday season. Yup. If you think people are getting pissy now, just wait until literally the shelves are fucking bare. I don't know if this is what they want, but this is where we're going. I'm confident, but with a very heavy heart, to recognize a vaccine mandate will mean less capacity for the government. As a customer of freight, he said, it has the potential to seriously impact military readiness. Yeah, it does. Thank God China's in a compromised state at this point, because if there was like a legitimate superpower knocking down the door, well, Biden wouldn't be in charge anyways, but we wouldn't find ourselves in this fucked up situation now, would we? Sullivan said he has communicated with his concerns to the White House. What did you leave a message? The office, OMB, and other executive branch officials, and noted that the companies do not choose to drop their federal contracts. It may lead to difficulties of getting food to troops, transport fuel for military vehicles, and could even impact deploying the National Guard. Ooh, I feel like the president has tried to be beautifully simple. I think he just does that every morning, mostly by accident. This could apply to everybody, and by doing that, there will be an impact. No fucking shit. No shit. We know that there's no other way to beat this pandemic than to get the vast majority of Americans vaccinated. Apparently, like 80% of Americans have at least received the first jab. So, do you think that 80% constitutes a vast majority or not? You should probably, pinpoint and then just be like, okay, cool, that's good. And then just, drop all the restrictions. But then again, you wouldn't be able to boss people around, and that's kind of what you're really looking for. You're not really looking for a solution to the pandemic at this point. You're just figuring out how much you can get away with. So the next time that this happens, we can pick up right where we left off and continue to push people closer and closer to the edge until they realize that they don't have anything left. And guess what? You have everything that's over there, and ooh boy, you ain't looking that fucking strong right now. So we gonna be wanting some of that. I'm not saying that's gonna be happening. I'm just saying that that's something that could happen. But with that said, guys, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.